Positively Louie, a journey of self-discovery. This is the story of a little dog named Louie who lives on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Although Louie lives in luxury and has much material wealth, he suffers from chronic anxiety, depression, and a lack of passion and meaning in life. His pet parents purchased him from a breeder with the intention of making him into a prize-winning show dog. Louie spends his days constantly going to trainers, groomers, and nutritionists. Rarely is he allowed to socialize with other dogs or people. His home life is miserable, and his pet parents are always arguing. One day, after another grooming session which included a pedicure, he decided to sneak out of the pet salon and escape with his nails still wet. It was a crisp, sunny fall day. He ran out into the street and headed towards Central Park, where he smelled hot dogs, ice cream, and various other goodies. He appreciated the different types of people, trees, sounds, and smells. Louie had not remembered the last time he had smiled so much. As he walked through the park, he met lots of people from around the world. He greeted them, and they greeted him with warmth and friendliness. He played with many people, dogs, and was sure to be extra gentle with smaller children and seniors. Louie demonstrated social intelligence, which is awareness of others' feelings and knowing what to do to fit into different social situations. As he enjoyed himself and bathed in the sun, he heard music and sounds of children laughing. Walking towards these sounds, he discovered they were coming from a carousel. He never observed anything so beautiful. Colorfully decorated horses of all kinds. He realized he could appreciate beauty of all kinds and was elated to hear, smell, see, and feel. At that moment, a little girl hugged him and gave him the rest of her strawberry ice cream. Oh yes, he forgot the most important sense of all, the sense of taste. When he finished eating, he ran up to a group of dogs who greeted him with sniffs and barks. They played together and helped each other search for snacks and squirrels. He discovered the importance of friendships, play, and teamwork. These things made life more enjoyable, fun, and easier. Louie began to feel thirsty, and the group headed toward the fountain. He drank from the fountain and heard a man playing Imagine by John Lennon. It was the most touching song he'd ever heard and couldn't resist howling along. What beautiful lyrics, thought Louie. The world will be as one. The world will be as one. Unity, a concept he'd never thought about. But it sounded good to him. After the song, the musician thanked Louie for his enthusiasm. He told Louie that although music was his passion, he needed to go and tend to other things in his life that were just as important. This is what it meant to have a healthy passion. Yes, Louie thought. He understood one needs balance for happiness. Louie let out a big bark, goodbye, and departed towards the baseball field. There he met a little boy who had a catcher's mitt and ball, but no one to play with. Louie offered to fetch the ball so the boy could practice his pitch. Louie showed kindness towards the boy, which is doing favors or good deeds for others. He discovered showing kindness made him and others happy. The boy grinned at Louie, thanked him, and invited him to dinner. He told Louie he wanted to reciprocate his kindness. Oh, thought Louie, if we could all do little favors for each other, the world would be a better place. They both walked way uptown as the sun began to set. Approaching the boys' building, Louie noticed that there was no elevator, doorman, amenities, or luxuries. The boy told Louie that he lived alone with his widowed mom, who worked 2 jobs while attending night school. Money was tight, but the boy was grateful to have the important things, which was a caring mom, food, and love. The boy's mom always spoke about the importance of gratitude, which helps us value the things we already have. This makes us happier since we are not longing for anything. As they sat at the table to eat beef stew, the family said grace, and Louis silently gave thanks for all he had, deciding that day he would find 5 things to be grateful for every day. After dinner, he thanked his hosts by giving them a hug and bark. He wanted to be outside to walk around and observe the moonlit sky. He departed and stood on the corner and looked up at the sky, thankful because of all the wonderful events. He began to expect the best in the future and felt a strong sense of hope. This was a great feeling, thought Louis, a great feeling. Suddenly, he saw an elderly man collapse. He ran towards him and knew he needed help. Louis ran into a deli and got the clerk to call 911. Thankfully, an ambulance came quickly and transported the man and Louis to the hospital. While Louis waited in the emergency room for an update, he met lots of people who were scared and sick. He walked around to each and comforted them. After his interaction with them, he noticed many stopped crying and even smiled and laughed. Louis liked the positive effect he had on others. Discovering he enjoyed demonstrating kindness and valued sharing and caring for others, he began to feel his heart expanding with love. Yes, he loved love. A social worker was impressed with Louis's effect on the patients and decided to take him home since he did not have an ID tag. She asked him if he would like to continue helping people, and Louis barked a resounding yes. For the next couple of months, Louis attended school and received his certificate from the Dog Therapy and Service School. Thereafter, he traveled to nursing homes, hospitals, and rehab centers, improving lives. Although he was happy helping others and discovered his life's purpose, he began to miss his pet mom and old home. He was afraid to return because he thought she would not forgive him for running away. However, he demonstrated courage and decided to go back. When he arrived at his old residence, the doorman greeted him warmly and said to Louis, "What took you so long?" As soon as his mom opened the door, she greeted him with love and showered him with 1,000,000 kisses. She was not angry at all and forgave him. She practiced forgiveness. Louis knew forgiveness was good and if everyone practiced it, the world would be better. Louie stayed with his family and continued to work as a therapy dog and practiced all the lesson he'd learned on his journey to self-discovery. He was happy at last. Oh, except for the times he had to return to the salon for pedicures. The end.